Hello everyone, and welcome to the 52nd episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You probably know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, bunch of nonsense. With me as always is my friend, co-host, and chip munching during the intro buddy, Frederick.
It's me.
You know something? That was the best intro, like the most clean one we've ever done, except you were chewing your fucking chips in the background the whole you didn't see
we can't have a perfect thing. Are you kidding me?
You did
that
not
would
see
not be us.
The altercation beforehand where I was like, oh yeah, finish your chips, and he's like, no, just go. And I was like,
Yes. I create content.
it was a game of chicken and I lost. So, real quick reminder that this was recorded on August 21st, 2020, so
don't hate us.
So if there's something we say that's like out of date or there's a new trailer or something, I don't know. That's why we're recording a bunch in one day, because Freddy's going away, so we can put them up anyway, because we do this because we... For you. Be grateful.
Please, don't whine.
We do it for the love of the game of podcasting. Anyway. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the Marvel Netflix shows. Now, we maybe call this like phase 1 of the Marvel Netflix shows, because there are too many seasons to do all of them in one. So I'm thinking, especially because we've been doing like 40 minutes when we were trying to do 20 minutes. Yeah. So we're going to go through all of the Marvel Netflix shows up until the Defender season 1. I haven't rewatched anything from them. Neither has he just found out about this moments ago. So we're going to try to do this off our memory. Let's see if it's a disaster.
I haven't even watched all of these.
All right. Daredevil. See, also spoilers. Timecodes in the description. Daredevil season 1.
Well, I think just throughout this entire little universe, Daredevil is by far, like...
Yeah.
I take any season from Daredevil, I'd say is the best. There's been 3 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Any season of those would, like, trump anything else, I'd say.
I'd say maybe 2 is a little bit below some of the others, but we'll...
2 is the one with Castle, no?
Yeah, but then it goes in a different direction.
But Castle.
But, okay, Castle. Exactly. No, yeah, I think Daredevil is both as a character and his shows recur as the best of these.
Yeah.
Charlie Cox
is a fascinating man.
This becomes a biography of Charlie Cox. He was born 19... Actually, that's when we were talking about meme actors in episode 50.
Cannot believe
Charlie Cox was the OG.
The OG Cox.
Remember the photo of him with the... Actually, remember every single photo of his?
Oh, I remember every single one.
It'll never leave your mind.
Sadly, I do.
No, he's excellent in this role. He's British, I think.
No.
He wouldn't. Would he do that to us? Daredevil season 1. It has amazing action. Like the hallway fight, a classic.
God, yeah, that's the one-shot thing, right?
Yeah. And it's also very brutal. Remember at the end he fights the big old red ninja guy? And he gets, like, stabbed 1,000 times?
Yeah.
He gets shanked just over and over again.
You're British?
But, yeah, and he gets dragged around on the...
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty gruesome.
Pretty brutal.
But, what do you think... the main question. What do you think of Foggy?
I love myself some Nelson.
Yeah.
I really like him. I think that little comedic duo, best friend thing there, so good.
You're the Foggy to my Matt.
Nah. You're like the Cox.
Period. British.
You're very the British Cox to my American Nelson.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, good.
Didn't mean to compliment you, but it just happens.
So you like their team up?
I do. And also I like obviously it's more of a sub part, but I also like the fact that they're lawyers. Just got their own little firm.
No, it adds a lot of... He's a very interesting character. He's blind lawyer and
all around sex lord.
I was about to say Catholic. So we went in very different directions there. You couldn't have picked a more inappropriate time to say that. But he's a very interesting character. And all the characters, like Karen Page is also a great character.
I'd probably say that Fisk is maybe the greatest villain in all of the MC.
Fisk is incredible. He's excellently portrayed by your boy D'Onofrio.
That's
how you legally have to say it.
Under contract, you mess up the name, he walks
into a river.
He's had D'Onofrio of this.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard. I'm sure he's used that at some point in his life. I had D'Onofrio of your shit. And then everyone applauded in the room. But no, he's incredible. He slams that guy in the car door, and he has a very interesting backstory. Excellent villain, and I also love the Daredevil suit in this one, where he has the original black thing, and I think the red suit looks kind of weird in the finale of this one. It looks better by the next season, but the one they have at the end of this one is kind of...
with the horns, like before you had...
Yeah, like his real, like his official suit is it looks a little bit weird in this season, but it looks better later on. But great action. It was a much darker thing than we'd seen before in the MCU at the time. It was it was 2015, I think. So it was very groundbreaking.
Also, just kind of refreshing, because as much as I love the MCU, it can
get
the stakes and everything. It's not the highest, you know.
No, to tackle it from a bit of a different angle, which I think even the Netflix shows lost over time a little bit. So, but at the very start here, so overall, an excellent first season.
Yeah, very good.
I would give it 9.5 foggies out of 10.
Out of 10 foggies.
Yeah,
you are. Woo.
You know, if he doesn't know what's going on, do you think he says, "I haven't the foggiest"?
I think he says, "I haven't the Nelsons."
I'm Nelsoning it up over here, guys. I don't know. Having a real brain Nelson.
He just says, "I'm Foggy Nelson."
Anyway, let's move on. Let's swiftly move on from that to Jessica Jones season 1, which I think is I gotta say something
really controversial here.
I don't think is as good as Daredevil season 1.
I'll say I've never watched it.
Oh, you haven't?
I've watched the first 2 episodes, I think. It never really hooked me.
It's not as I don't know the word. Like, I don't want to say like it's not as accessible as like, oh, he's going for the chips. Oh, he's done it. There's no stopping him now. I don't want to say like it's not as accessible as Daredevil season 1, but it's a bit more. I think maybe it deals with heavier themes. It's less superhero-y. Even like Daredevil season 1 is not very superhero-y, but it's even less superhero-y. And so it's not as like as maybe like exciting, but I think it's an excellent season. I think
also Tennant is the bad guy there, right?
Yeah, he's
I was gonna say I would watch it just for him.
Overall, Marvel Netflix probably has better villains than the MCU movies, maybe overall.
I'd probably say almost definitely.
Like as a percentage of, because there are some great ones in the MCU movies, but as like an overall percentage of how many there have been and how many have been like great, the Marvel Netflix ones, especially this first batch of them, are incredible. Yeah, Tennant is fantastic as Kilgrave, I think his name is.
Yeah,
Kilgrave,
the Purple Man.
Yeah, and he's also like terrifying, like in his, like the way they take this, you know, that could definitely be used in a very goofy kind of comic book way, and they bring it to the real world. It makes it very, like, it makes his power very terrifying, and like he's such like a disgusting kind of like creepy, but like Tennant is still like, he's like charismatic.
But Tennant is like that in real life.
Like he's charismatic, but he's also like such a creep, such a he's a very unsettling villain. He does that excellently. I think Kristen Ritter is fantastic as Jessica. I also think these are brilliantly, except for one we'll get to. I think these are brilliantly cast.
Oh yeah.
It's more of a, not a thriller, but I guess it's more of a slow burn than Daredevil season 1. Like it's.
I've seen scenes and stuff like that, so I kind of get the overall gist of it, and it does seem like a very, very different tone than Daredevil.
Yeah, it's darker and more kind of like psychological and more like Kilgrave has like done terrible things to Jessica Jones because she was like his like mind controlled like captive for years, and it's more psychologically
doesn't
charged
like, so Luke Cage shows up in Jessica Jones, right?
He does actually. Yeah, that's true.
And doesn't Kilgrave then like take control of him?
He does. I forgot about all.
I haven't seen the show.
What the hell? I forgot Luke Cage was even in this. Yeah, he does, and he works very well as a supporting character in this as well, and I wish they would do.
Is he better as a supporting character, or does he hold his own?
I think he holds his own, to be fair, but I do wish they would do more crossovers, because I do think he could, like he works well on his own, but I do think also when he's with other people, especially as we'll get to. Actually, probably when we talk about the other batch of shows, but with Iron Fist, I think they definitely should have made Heroes for Hire with Luke Cage and Iron Fist as a show instead of season 2 and season 2 of both of those shows. But we'll get to those later. But yeah, Jessica Jones season 1, really, really well done show. Very interesting characters and a very interesting story with an excellent villain. Highly recommend that one. Then Daredevil season 2, when Frank shows up.
Oh God, Frank. Okay, I think I'll say Cox. I think he's probably my favorite in the entire of these shows, right? But then very close behind is probably
He is
Frank Castle.
excellent.
I love him. It is perfectly cast.
Yeah, it could not be better cast. He's like the furthest grizzled, kind of like been through like war and tragedy, and now it's just like a badass killer.
Yeah.
You couldn't find a better man than Griff.
God, he's not dead. I'll say.
I think their conversation on the roof with the chimney.
Daredevil's like chained up. Or
I think that's probably the highlight of the whole season for me, to be honest.
It is very good.
Which is a shame, since it's like the second episode. But it also has a great action with like the staircase fight. Also, of course, the neighbors choose to do their construction right when we're f***ing podcasting.
Please, the poorly planned.
We go up there and, excuse me, we're podcasting. Could you hold on a minute?
We're talking about Frank Castle. Thank you.
They stop immediately.
They come down to join us. The guest stars.
My problem with this season is not enough Griff. Well, actually, I mean, almost kind of. It's like, because it feels like 2 seasons very not like linked, put together, because the first 5 episodes I think are about Frank Castle and that storyline, which is the courtroom scene where he has to like
I love
excellent that. And then it goes into this stuff about Elektra and the hand. That's
true. I really did not like Elektra as a character. Was that not in what happens in season 3 then?
That's when
when Fisk gets out.
And it's, what's his name, the man with the
golden gun?
No. the cop guy. What's his name? We used to like... come on. No, I'm not having this.
Stein.
No. That's Punisher.
Sorry.
It's you remember him. You remember this guy. Nadim.
Oh,
because remember, right. I think at one point Fisk screams like, Nadim! And we used to do that.
Nadim!
But yeah, I think...
No, I did not like her as a character. Although her accent kept changing. It was either like mildly Hispanic or mildly British. And it pissed me off.
I think she's Greek, I want to say.
I don't know. I did not like her as a character. I was happy when she went goodbye.
Oh yeah, she does, doesn't she?
She does.
And then she comes back.
Becomes like a zombie super woman.
I didn't dislike the character or like the performance necessarily, but I disliked I thought she was okay. I disliked like the direction that the show took, because I found it much... I think Frank Castle, that whole storyline could have definitely been a whole season, or they could have just done a shorter season of like maybe 8 episodes, and that could have been it. I think a consistent problem with these is that they're too long. They're especially these next I think like Daredevil season 2 and then Luke Cage and Iron Fist all are like maybe 4 episodes that could be cut. But
is it the Defenders, or would they only do 8, or is it 6?
Which is weird, because that 8, because like that would be...
That'd probably be the one that should be the longest.
But
you've got it all backwards, Netflix.
But then I don't know, the mystical stuff with Daredevil, while interesting as like, I think it was very interesting in the first season as kind of like they're alluding to it. It's more interesting left to your imagination than when actually...
What is this mystical stuff you
like
speak
the
of?
hand and remember that it all leads to fucking dragon skeleton on a New York that they're trying to mine for immortality juice. Yeah. Like, I find Daredevil on the streets and like, doing more grounded stuff. Yeah, better. Interesting. And yeah, I do think the mystical stuff, like with Stick as well, I do think it's interesting, but it's more, the way they executed it, I didn't find as... Like with the hand and like the ninjas, like it leads some cool action, it's a cool concept, but then it goes too far with like...
Yeah, agreed. I do, Stick as a character though is also
he's
very,
great.
very cool.
And very well cast as well. Is he... That's the guy from Avatar, Stephen Lang. And the
guy who's like the...
Papa Dragon. The military guy,
Yeah, okay.
So, Daredevil Season 2, I still think it's good. It's still great performances. And even the second half, which isn't as good in my opinion, still has some interesting character stuff. And some decent action. Yeah, I think the highlight, though, is the Frank Castle Daredevil interactions.
Most definitely.
Luke Cage Season 1.
I'll say, I really liked the first 8 episodes of this.
Spot on.
It was
right on the money.
Brilliant. Podcast host. It's just but after Mahershala dies, it just takes a turn for the worse.
Yeah. Did we say spoilers, by the way, at the start?
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
Please. It's very well cast as well, Luke Cage.
It does a good job of being... like all these shows, especially at the start, like these first seasons, I think do a good job of being, in the same world, distinct from each other. So like Daredevil has its own vibe, Jessica Jones has its own vibe, and then Luke Cage with like all the like the Harlem stuff and all that has its own vibe, and it's a very bro, what is that? Oh my god, it's the f***ing neighbors.
Bruh.
I say that word way too much. It's so lame. But yeah, no, I think I think it's an excellent character, or an excellent casting of the character.
Yeah.
I also think Rosario Dawson, who's in all, he's just kind of like the Nick Fury of these Netflix shows. Like
the nurse,
the night nurse. Yeah,
is that her like comic book name?
I think so. Yeah,
God,
I can't remember her.
That's lame.
I can't remember her name in this, but she's very good as well. I think Mahershala
is by far the best in that show. Best part of that show.
Also, they're gonna get him as Blade now, which is gonna be a little confusing, given that he was already Mahershala in this.
Oh, is that in the same universe?
Yeah. Also, he has these are kind of out of continuity now, but he also has the classic Mahersh laugh. I remember when I made my review, I was very proud of making a Mahersh laugh compilation. It's interesting that you can literally pinpoint exactly where it goes downhill. And it's as soon as Mahershala is beat to death by a mic stand.
Yeah, mic stand by his sister?
She's really good. She's excellent. And I think she's really good in the second season as well. But the next villain they get, f***ing Turtle Man, or whatever he's called. What's his name?
Here comes f***ing Turtle Man.
But he is... I don't think the actor is bad necessarily. But
I don't think he's very good.
Well, he's so over the top.
Yeah.
And his character is so different from what the show otherwise was. It takes it in a completely different direction, and it's quite jarring, and he's so much less engaging than Mahershala was. It takes it's almost like they gave it to a completely different like creative team, and then his costume at the end and the action at the end. The action for the first half is actually quite decent. Like it gets a little bit repetitive where it's like, yeah, he walks in and they can't shoot him, and then he punches
a
them.
wall.
Yeah, but by the end, but it's still solid. But by the end, oh my, the final fight is so clunky, and then like they defeat him with the power of New York or something, because they're like, he said something about your mom, and then he punches him. It's like, remember the crowd is gathered around.
It's very like It 2-esque.
Yeah, or like the first Spider-Man as well. Like they have like the New Yorkers on the bridge, and they like throw stuff at the Green Goblin. They're like, don't mess with New York, man. That's my
very good New York.
It's a terrible New York accent. But like, I don't know. So I guess that's the sort of the vibe. It's supposed to be more kind of like cheesy, but I just feel like it's such a disconnect from the first half. Like if the whole thing was like that, maybe, but I still find it less engaging. And plus, there's like 4 episodes where he's just in a fucking like tank of water or something. Remember that? Because they find out how to shoot him, and then
exactly.
He's just like sitting.
Then they can't do surgery because you
get
cut.
It's probably not 4 episodes, but it felt like 4 episodes where it's just like sitting in a tank of acid or something. And then, it's so... Like, the first 5, I was genuinely thinking, like, this might be the best one yet. It was so, like, fun and engaging. And then it just, went downhill. So anyway, Luke Cage Season 1. I would give it 4 Mahershalas out of 6 mic stands. Okay.
I'd probably give it 3 pops.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then Iron Fist Season 1. This is where they really went downhill.
Yeah. I think I've only seen half of this.
This was when
which is so bad.
I think this is the first MCU property that ever got like really, really bad reviews. I think this was before Inhumans, because they got like 20% of Rotten Tomatoes, and everyone was like super surprised. It's not horrendous,
but it's very definitely not good.
Yeah. Well, it's so much lower than these other seasons. It's
the action is just...
The action is very clunky. It's funny because like you would think Iron Fist would be the one where the action's the best.
Yeah, and like it was like a kung fu, is it?
Yeah. And then it's just very kind of like badly edited, clunky, just not very engaging. Finn Jones, I think, is a good actor. I haven't seen him in much else, but
he's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, in a very like kind of minor role.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's well cast here, especially considering the others are so well cast. Because I think you could pull off this writing, maybe. But his writing is so... He has this air of, like, kind of unlikableness to him. Like, he's, like, arrogant and stupid at the same time. Like, he doesn't seem to... I don't know, he's so... Because I get they're trying to do, like, the fish out of water. Like, oh, he disappeared. He's been in the mountains for f***ing, like, 10 years, so, like, he doesn't understand things. But he's so oblivious... Yeah. And then also so like condescending, and there's not really an arc where he becomes less that.
No, he just makes it your friends. I will say I do like the
Colleen Wing. I think she's honestly she should have been the main character, to be honest. Yeah, she's like the
She's
best
really
character.
good, yeah.
She's like very likable and also has, I think, like the cooler action of the two.
Yeah.
And I mean the Meacham family is pretty solid, like pretty decent villains, but nothing on the level of the others.
No. Nowhere close.
And yeah, and there's also the whole this is where it goes like much more mystical and like much more into the like he killed a dragon to get his powers, but they don't have the budget to show it. So
Is that then the dragon that they're digging for in Daredevil?
no, that's a different dragon. Yeah. But it's so
My brain is hurting.
I don't know, it's kind of like if you were going to go mystical, then commit to it and like allocate the budget to kind of like have that scene where he defeats the dragon, or don't have it on the streets of New York again like all the others, you know?
Yeah.
Like commit to one direct. Like Daredevil season 1 is sort of committed, like it mentions the mystical stuff but doesn't go into it. And I think that's where Daredevil season 2 kind of falters. And this one's a bit similar where like it's all about the mystical stuff but not really. It's still kind of like fighting in a hallway and like in an alleyway. And like I mean the Iron Fist effect is pretty cool, I guess.
I don't even think so. I think it looks kind of lame.
So yeah, not great. I'd say 3 Dannys out of 7 Meachams.
Oh, that's pretty high. You giving it?
Actually,
there.
yeah, maybe a little less than that.
Make it 16 Meachams. You've got a deal.
And finally, The Defenders season 1.
I think this is like they like the only good thing. Honestly, it's a very like, mediocre show. I'd say like it's very like meh.
Yeah.
Like the good thing is when they all meet each other. I like that. Also like when Jessica Jones is like. When the Cox comes in, he's like, "I'm your lawyer," you know. Kind of thing.
So
that's
cool.
That's a good scene. I'll say.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
those
like
kind of
when-
moments that stick with you. But
With the
otherwise-
hallway fight when like also Luke Cage busts in. I think like Run the Jewels is playing. It's very cool, but it's very average considering
Yeah.
this was the big climax.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I got the same experience from watching the trailer as I did like watching the whole show.
Uh-huh.
Like I got as much excitement and fun. Like I feel like you could just watch the trailer and be like, that's as good as like it gets. Like I don't know. I don't even think it's bad. Like I think I enjoyed watching. I think it's fun.
It's a bit of an Ant-Man.
I'd say it's even better than that. Like it's not.
Damn. You love Ant-Man.
Like it's not boring or like dull, I would say, but it's just kind of like, all right, like that was that. Like that was my. I don't know. It's
That was
weird.
my Defenders reaction.
I think the villain's okay, played by what's her name?
Totally forget. I get Elektra's in it.
Yeah, come on,
God.
she's super famous. Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, she's
okay.
all right.
God, Elektra is just.
You really have a vendetta here, don't you?
She's just. I don't know. She annoys me to no end.
Huh?
She dies in this at the end, doesn't she?
No, her and
But Cox survives.
Oh yeah, he dies and then he immediately is not dead.
Well, he's like crushed by a bunch of like the roof
Yeah,
falls in on him or something.
yeah.
But then
I mean, yeah, the whole story about dragon bones. It's kind of like
it's not great.
It's kind of like that's what it was all building to. Like in the first season of Daredevil, I think Stick goes to meet with some like mystical figure or something. It's kind of like very
Madam.
No, it's like some guy, which I don't think we ever see again. And like,
So maybe there's more to come.
but it's kind of like interesting of how, like, ooh, like what is this all building to? And then it's kind of like the reveal is like,
Oh.
so it's dragons. It's like, okay. And like the hand, Madame Gao is pretty good in these.
Yeah.
And we also get a moment where Daredevil like beats the shit out of Iron Fist, which is pretty fun.
Yeah. Is that like in the?
Actually, there's a part where
in
like
the bar.
no, when they kidnap one of the hand members, and then I think like someone cuts his head off. I think Stick does whatever, and then they get in a fight. I think, and then Iron Fist is like, meh, you know, as he does.
Of course.
And then
whiny bitch.
Charlie, the alpha of the group, just slaps him up a little bit. I think Luke Cage and Iron Fist actually have some fun moments. They have some fun moments together, like all 4 of them in the restaurant.
Yeah,
they're pretty
the restaurant's good.
But overall, not as exceptional as I think we were hoping it would be.
No, not at all. I was actually pretty excited for this.
Yeah,
and then
it was kind of like, it's a bit of a fizzle.
Bit of a fizzle.
So, that is...
Bit of a taupe fizzle.
God damn it. So those are the first phase, I guess,
that
of
first half of it.
MCU Netflix shows. We'll talk about the second half in a later episode.
Oh.
But overall, I'd say this is a pretty solid run with a few, you know, like...
Missteps.
Yeah, but overall quite solid. So, now it's time for...
The Cnews.
The Tom Cnews.
God, there's Tom Cnews every time now. It's amazing.
I've made it a point. I don't know about this article, but I just loved the headline. You could bag this incredible $1.25 million-pound pad and end up having Tom Cruise as your neighbor for just £2. Now, that sounds more like a threat to me.
Yeah, what does...
What
what the hell does that mean?
I don't know. I'm like, so wait, you buy the $1 million mansion and then you pay £2 to have Tom Cruise live next to you, or like, why do you have to pay £2?
Well, it's like a raffle, like a giveaway.
I don't know, but I think it's once again, it's best if we don't read the article.
The raffle sounds less likely than what you said, that you pay Tom Cruise $2 to be your neighbor.
So again, I think the Tom Cruise works best when we just read a headline and then speculate.
This could not even imagine watching the video. That would kill me.
This is by The Sun, so also take it with a grain of salt. And also, we don't know what it's about, so definitely take it with a grain of salt. But I can't imagine what this possibly means. But
I'm excited.
But yeah, go Cruise, I guess. Also, little announcement, not announcement, but like a little. I'm trying to throw little things in here at the end that I think maybe will be interesting to discuss. Mm-hmm. So I came across this headline and I couldn't resist. I think you would love it. The most handsome bald men. Now,
are these actors we know?
Yeah. So I was browsing IMDb for trivia and I saw in the sidebar just a amazing recommendation. Most handsome bald men. And so I would like you to guess who this person has listed as the number one most handsome bald man.
The number one.
Number one.
I'll say, if it were into the top 10s, Strong would definitely be there. But Tucci has to be number one.
Okay. Well, you've made your mark. Statham.
What the hell is this?
Followed by Dwayne Johnson.
But he's not.
Also, they
fully bald.
They couldn't have picked a picture where Statham's actually bald. Like
Also,
if you look at the rest of this list, it's questionable. First of all, Vin Diesel is not more handsome than Idris Elba.
No way.
Idris Elba is not bald. Look at this picture.
He's not bald at all.
Also, I feel like this is more just a list. I was going to say a list of bald people, but it's not even a list of bald people. It's just a list of male actors. And not even, because Mike Tyson is on this list. Is he I guess he was in The Hangover.
Wait. Did I just see Blanta?
Blanta. Why do you remember him as Blanta? Tyrese Gibson, 17th most handsome bald man in the world.
I thought you were going to meme me and Tucci would actually be there, but now I see that I was gravely mistaken.
Ving Rhames is the 11th most handsome man in the world. Someone's going to take that out of context. Just me yelling angrily at someone. Ving Rhames is the 11th.
No, you dare dispute that.
But just like Ving Rhames, I don't want to insult. I mean, he's a very...
But the man is just a big raisin.
He's a very handsome man. However, is he more handsome than Michael Jordan? Than Blanta? Than McKinley Freeman? Sorry.
McKinley Freeman.
Like, is Henry Simmons from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., do you think Ving Rhames is more handsome than this guy?
If you're in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're automatically unattractive.
This is just such a mind of a list. So anyway, Statham is apparently the most handsome bald man.
Interesting.
Anyway. Alright, well, here we are for the announcements segment of the pod. Very weird. But I got Freddie on the line currently. Well, Freddie's coming to us all the way from Scotland, and
That's gonna be so, not at all impactful for the viewers, because I've just been talking to them.
Yeah. So yeah, it's confusing with the time travel here, but the rest of this episode was recorded before he left, and now this is recorded after he left. 2 days before this is going up. What's good? We're podcasters.
A podcaster's life for me, I say.
I hope you can hear him. I'm pretty sure you can. So, how is Scotland? If we can get a little... I think every week we should have a little Scotland update, you know?
A little Scotland update. Well, it's raining lava, and I'm dying.
That's what I've heard Scotland's like.
No, it's very good. A little bit colder and wetter than Denmark.
Impossible.
But, just moved into the dorm, and honestly, it's all good.
Well, let's just get into the announcements for this week. Firstly, there were some delightful comments on my New Mutants review. Soy commented...
hate mail.
He commented, "Damn it, I accidentally unmuted myself at class while watching this." So, just imagine you're in online class and BHL Hudson's sonorous tones echo through the computer.
Those do not exist, so I cannot imagine it.
And then, also
high squeak of a BHL video.
What's that?
The high squeak of a BHL video.
You son of a bitch. And then, There was also a very great response to my UFC video, which I was really happy about because I was kind of branching out with that one. It was very nice to see. Also, Chisaki commented, "Need a video explaining why Couples Retreat is the perfect movie." So I hope you're glad that
a whole part in itself.
I hope you're glad that that's made it onto my UFC video somehow.
Okay, good. Two videos about fighting.
One is about Vince fighting for his life
Against Vaughn.
Then I don't have them pulled up right now, but there were some really nice comments on Pod 51. Thank you guys, great. Again, really appreciate the support. Then I sent you this, a wonderful piece of art. GC Green comes through again with just marvelous.
Quickly whip it up again.
It's well, I can show you on the FaceTime here. I got Freddy on the FT as we call it. So yeah, we got the Not So Gentleman with Dalgard and Hudson. Now I'm assuming I am the Hunnam here, and you're you're dressed like Farrell. So I guess you're Farrell.
I'll take the Farrell.
Maybe I'm McConaughey actually. Also, I like it's like, besides like the meme of it that like it's us as the gentleman. It's really good art. Like,
but can't just say your face screams Lord George.
Who is Lord George?
It's the guy who throws up.
Throws up.
The old Asian guy. God. Can't believe this man doesn't even remember my man Lord George.
I can't believe you do remember Lord George. I mean, yes, very Lord George me. It's really well done, and he even got like my signature forehead wrinkle in there. Very impressive.
Oh, nice.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram from the Pod fan page account, we were tagged in a video tribute, which I'm 99% sure we put in the pod back when it came out in May 2018.
It's 2 years old. I also searched it up.
But it is, right? Yeah. So I think we did, but I'll put it in again anyway because it is wonderfully delightful. It's like made by, or like with that kind of, we have a very dedicated fan base, obviously, of course, but there's like a very specific, like a group of like, I think 9 or 10 fans who like have like a group chat and all that, and are like really, make some fan art and fan pages and all that. Very, very, the coolest of people, I would argue. And they put together this video with like their favorite movies, and then some of our favorite movies, and then some of our least favorite movies. And it's a delightful vid, so I'll put that in here again. Hey guys, BHL from Even the More Future here. This whole thing is getting very convoluted and confusing at this point, but I basically realized while editing this that we were talking about a different video than the one we were tagged in. The one we were tagged in was this like little tribute montage thing, and we were talking about a different one, but they're both extremely delightful, so I put them both in here. And shout out to the guys who made these, and Jono Webb who uploaded them. So enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. I am your host, I guess, Benedict. You probably know me better as BHL, or BHL Hudson. And joining me today on this very momentous occasion is Frederick. Probably shouldn't say your full name on the internet. Frederick, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, internet and fans of BHL Hudson.
Also, I want to say something I did not know is that there is a comment on it from the Autistic Geek
What?
that says, Hudsonators assemble. And I just I just want to say that's the best thing I've ever read. Thank you so much.
Hudsonators assemble.
Yeah, and I'll be using that forever from now on. Then I just wanted to look at some of the memes from the pod account this week. Just some great ones. There was a very wholesome post from Cian about like things that the Poorly Plan has done for me. I'll put that up. Very, very wholesome and fun and very, very
One
nice.
does seem like he's like, you've wasted my time.
I think that was meant nicely, but it could also be like, you son of a bitch. And then this delightful meme about watching it for Yassine and Lele, which is very, very true.
Yeah.
I think that's why most people watch.
Lele?
Yeah, interesting spelling of Yassine, but I appreciate the effort. And has Pierce posted anything?
Of course not. Pierce hates us.
That's what I thought. Well, not yet, but yeah, so delightful fan pages, check those out, link in the description. And finally, we got an email from JC Comics. Have you guys seen this? They're ripping you off. And apparently there's another podcast called The Poorly Planned Podcast on iTunes.
Did any good is the question.
Yeah, so can someone listen to that and get back to us on if it's good, and if so, if we should fight them in a boxing match, KSI Logan Paul style, which I think is the only solution to this.
And if they're so much better than us, just
we give up.
Two P's in pod. Change name.
Yeah. I remember this from a long time ago, but I don't think we did anything about it then. So now we're standing up.
Yeah,
and by that I mean it's probably a delightful podcast, good for them, people have the same ideas, and so yeah, don't send any hate to them, but do get back to us on if they're better than us.
Imagine them just swarming them with the most hateful comments.
Yeah, please don't send anything bad to them, but
We're gonna assemble the Hudsonators. Thank you very much.
if you want to comment Hudsonators assemble, I won't object, but generally don't send them any bad. Good on them, and
You're contradicting yourself. You can't send them that and then not say that's bad.
but yeah, people have similar thinking for names. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we did it first, so just saying, even if they're good. So, let's get back to the original pod. Thanks, Freddie, and we'll have you with another Scotland update next week.
Ooh.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoyed. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
You can find me on Instagram at fdalgar. You can find me on Twitter at FDK_Daltslimer. And you can find me on YouTube at FDK Space Gaming.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. What is this? 90s remix of our theme song? Ba-da-bow!